We know what we have to do. When you're on a losing streak, everything is kind of magnified. So everybody has to up their level, myself included, being a leader, and everybody in the building has to up their level. That's all it is. Just gotta get out of this funk and get back to doing what we know how to do.
What's the biggest difference since you last played with right now? You got 2 days off, so you can just reflect, do some things. What's the biggest difference? I know you ain't changed anything offensively, defensively, but emotionally, your team is going through the last thing, what difference you see?
I think the difference is everybody's kind of holding themselves accountable. Everybody's being understanding what's going on and that we have to snap out of what we were doing. We weren't playing the game the way that it should be played on either end of the floor. We're really a pressing team, a get after you team, not let teams like get a bunch of points. In my era here, I've usually tried to take the leading scorers out of the game and make the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth options play. I haven't been doing that. We haven't been pressing. So to me, everybody's kind of gotten back to let's get back to what we do.
In fear at all that this is going to linger, like you give you sense in you have also that this is
No, I don't think that this is going to linger. I think that we collectively understand that it's embarrassing to have lost 3 games in a row. It's like you're in a twilight zone, to be very honest with you, because I can't believe we actually lost 3 games in a row. And you just got to find your way out of it. Obviously, until you play the next game, you're going to have so many different um, fingers pointing to what the situations that happened in each game and how we did not address those things going to the next game, and then it just toppled over to losing 3 games in a row. But having 4 days off was really good for us to get back to, like I said, to what we do.
how important is this to the game coming up tomorrow? You obviously Alabama, Tennessee on the horizon, like at home, last chance to really fix a lot of issues before you have two big challenges on the schedule.
Well, we don't have the right to overlook anybody, so the next game is the biggest game. To be very honest with you, we just we're just looking to fix ourselves. A lot of the things that we see, we foul too much, turn the ball over too much, allow teams to have second shot opportunities, rebound at half their shot, their misses. It's too many things on the laundry list that's all like for gut checking and checking yourself when you get checking the game. We could make a lot of excuses. At the end of the day, I have to coach better, and we have to play harder in a lot of areas.
I imagine what you said to us is also what you're saying in practice as well. How do you feel that your players reacted to kind of the messaging after Georgia, after the Ole Miss game, this week so far?
Well, this is kind of a different era. I was talking to Coach Brown about that because kids kind of believe what they want to believe. You have myself, Coach Brown, Rasheed, and Cody, and we're coaching as hard as any staff. We're in practice, putting things in, and you get into the games, and they don't get done to the ability that we know that we can. It's almost like the mentality of the players is it's just another game. And for us, and for me, it's desperation. As far as every game you go into, you want to win. You got to play every game hard like it's your last. And I think we're understanding that as a group now that nobody's going to lay down, especially being Memphis. We were ranked number 9. Obviously we lost a tough game, a horrible game to Iowa State. And then that lingers over to every team that we play is going to play their best game against us. Georgia was missing their point guard and still played a pretty decent game. And then Ole Miss, they didn't play their best game, but, we just didn't do enough to win. And all those games were on the road. So, coming back home, we just have to take care of business on our own home court. But we know the level needs to go up 10 times.
And you mentioned after the game on Saturday, you were going to go back to playing the guys who you felt really cared about in the front of the game. Because you said Monday, you said our biggest strength is our numbers. Like as you've reflected, as you've moved past the emotions of losing a game, obviously you wanted to win. What's I guess your mindset on the lineup? But now you're starter who's playing.
Yeah, my lineup is just going to be the guys with energy. You show energy out there on the floor, you're going to stay. If you don't, then you come off. I think that's with any coach. You just want guys to go out there and fight. I think that we deserve to see that as a staff and as a city and as a school, like the guys that go out there, all 5 guys, being into the team and being into the energy and being into the game plan of what we're really trying to do to shut teams out.
When you first started the season, you said when your goal was to be the top offensive category and defensive category. You looked at a lot of different positions. I know you don't have time for that. What is it going to take to get you back in that round on your goal?
I think it's kind of like reprogramming the guys' mindset on why we win. We're a defensive team. That's just who we are. That, we've struggled a little bit offensively, but it wasn't because of anything other than just not sharing the basketball. And I think that's something that can be fixed, that the guys are doing in practice. But we're defensive-minded first. That's what we've always hung our hat on. That's what's helped us win the 20-plus wins every year. And you can't ever forget that. The Georgia game was probably more embarrassing to me because we let a team without their starting point guard score, 80 points or whatever. So it's like the mindset of who we are has to stay the same and has to stay constant throughout the entire game. And that pride kicks in with we're not going to allow teams to get over a certain amount of points or average in our building or when we play. And that's just where you have to stay with your standards.
In your thoughts, specifically with the veterans this week, because I know you had individual meetings with the guys. Did you get, what's your feeling on their sense of urgency with the gravity of the situation over the next week? Because they've been here for a couple of years, and they're in the danger of doing the same thing where, if they don't play well the next week, maybe put self aside and make it a team thing. You're in the same situation where now you're going into conference season and having to dig yourself out of a hole and having to make some sort of a run in the conference just to get to an NCAA.
Yeah, I think they're aware of it. They just have to be willing to go out and just every single second that you're on the floor. And like I said, we're holding everybody accountable, the young guys and the veterans, just to be leaders on both sides of the ball, and make it be about winning only and doing whatever it takes to win. And that's all we're asking the veterans to do.
On Sunday, the news that the worst was over after a week of practice. Now you feel that's the case?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, I can't tell you that I ever would have seen this coming to lose 3 games in a row. But I do know that if you're not playing the game the right way, then things like this can happen. And it's truly unfortunate, but to me, it woke us up. It didn't take 3 losses to wake me up because I'm always on high alert, but it woke everybody else up to understand that whatever your own personal things that you had going, they don't matter if you're losing. You know what I mean? And if you're not playing well and you're losing, that's a double-edged sword. So to me, it's like when you get into team and winning, everything else will fix itself, and that's what everybody has to understand.
When there's a special letter out there, you saw it, there were criticisms and everything else. Do you feel a little bit like you're behind feel a little bit of what Larry's feeling?
Nah, I don't. I didn't. Coach Finch was in a totally different situation. I mean, I don't think that he even deserved what he got. But for me, nothing is. I've been a professional athlete, so that's what comes along with the job. What people say about me doesn't mean that I don't still work hard, that my heart still isn't in the right place, and I really want to win. I have to take responsibility for what happened because we lost 3 games in a row, and that's on my watch. People have a right to say what they have to say because I'm just as pissed as they are, and I just got to not let that happen again. So I don't really – it's not like I don't care because obviously I want to do well for the school and for the city, but people have an opinion. I don't look at a statement or an article and go, oh, wow, that's horrible. 3 games in a row, you deserve to be talked about. You know what I mean? That's what comes along with it, and that's nothing any of us want. Not really. I mean, I think they all kind of know the answers to give right now because they know that we're down. Hey, coach, we're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to go out there and play hard. The thing is, you have to show me on Friday. I mean, Murray State is not a bad team. They're a really good team. They have veterans. They know how to play. They mix it up from man to zone. They push the ball. They have inside and outside. So when we set the schedule up, we knew exactly what we were doing. We just obviously didn't think we would lose 3 games in a row. But we set the schedule up for it to be hard for us to see what we were made of. And right now, we've kind of withered through the schedule, but there's also a way to come out of it, and that's just from being together. and playing hard. And that's what I want to see. I want to see people play desperate. I don't want to see people just existing on the floor. I want to see people playing desperate like it really means something.
This game in particular against Murray State, is the John Morant connection part of why you scheduled this? Because it's such a big figure of the city, or did it just come to be?
No, I just thought that they would be bringing back a pretty good roster. And plus, obviously, we know Ja. And, that connection was a small part. But the biggest part was that, Coach does a great job down there. And they had a good class, a good group of kids coming back. And they're showing that, from how they played. I kind of feel for him because I know this is one of the games that he had circled on his calendar to come to, having an entire Grizzlies team to come. If he's not able to make it, then that would be unfortunate.
Zach Randolph had his number retired on Saturday night. You're friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
The city obviously. What in your mind, what does he mean to the Grizzlies and the development of NBA basketball?
Yeah, Zebo he put the city on the map, with his style of play. He wasn't the most athletic. He wasn't the most gifted, but he was just the man, if I could just put it like that. He just found a way to get it done against all those athletes, all those guys that were way taller than him. He figured out how to use his body properly. To me, he's basically like, they should show videos on how he got his shot off every single night against all those tall trees and all those different all-stars and Hall of Fame guys, and how tough his mentality is pretty much what took the Grizzlies to the next level. That grit and grind, and not allowing anybody on his watch to do anything other than grind and fight every single night for the team that was on the name that was on the front. And that's what I loved about him.
Anything else from Coach today? Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.